What's going on, YouTube? Uberman here. I wanted to bring something to you guys' attention today, and basically what I'm doing is a YouTube poll of my subscribers or anybody else that watches this video. My son was suspended today from his school for doing this. That's it. Now, I'm sure there are some of you that's going to say, well, you know, with all of the shootings at schools and things lately, you know, that may be appropriate. But I'm sure that I cannot be the only one that's sitting here thinking this is absolutely absurd and ridiculous to get suspended from school for a harmless hand gesture. Now, what I do understand is that while he was sitting in class, apparently he did this like 3 or 4 times to the student in front of him while he was sitting in his seat. I do understand this could be considered disruptive, and absolutely he should be disciplined for disrupting the class. School is for learning, right? But I also understand that my son is 13 years old. He's a boy. Come on. This same school is known for students being expelled for having pills at school and pushing them. Some students recently were expelled for smoking pot in the bathroom. Okay? Basically, it's just another everyday school district. And I am really offended at what the principal told me today. There's paperwork right here. I'm not going to get too into it. But the actual reason for suspension is made his fingers into a gun and continuously acting as if he were shooting a girl in the back of her head. All right. Inappropriate? Yes. Disruptive? Yes. Should he have been disciplined? Yes. Should he have been suspended? I don't think so, and I am seriously upset over this. Now, the assistant principal of the school called me today. This is Jarman Middle School in Midwest City. The assistant principal calls me and tells me what happened and that he was being suspended. I was very calm, collected, and polite, very respectful. And I told her, you know, did he do anything other than make a hand gesture? And she said no. And I said, well, you know, I understand if he had said something or threatened with words or with an action, with an object, but he wasn't talking to anybody. He wasn't threatening. He was just sitting there bored because he was done with his work. Should he have done it? No, it's inappropriate. But my son, we don't have mainstream media news in this house. Period. That's my decision. That's the family's decision in this house. We don't watch mainstream media. There's nothing good that comes from watching the news anymore. So he does not know about all of these school shootings. He's just a 13-year-old boy that was bored and made a bad decision. I will agree with that. Now, while I'm on the subject, he has been reprimanded before for being disruptive in class. It is just one of the things that comes along with him being my son, okay? Hey, when they're punishing him for behavior that he has done, I usually can understand and agree with it. But this makes no sense. When I asked the principal, did he do anything other than just some hand gestures, the principal said no, but those hand gestures alone were a threat to shoot the girl in the head. And I was like, no. Agreed to disagree at this point, but that's not a threat. I told her, in our society, in the real world, the judicial system does not persecute people for a hand gesture. You don't go to jail or go to prison. You don't get arrested because you're doing this, walking around. So why would the school throw him out for something that wouldn't be a problem in everyday society? And the principal said, assistant principal, I'm sorry, came back and said, well, for all we know, he could come to school tomorrow with a gun, and who knows what he could do. Now, this is the part where, I'm going to watch my language here. This is the part where I get exceptionally angry. But I am pretty level-headed. I kept my cool, and I remained respectful. This is my son's school. I'm not trying to cause any problems for him, and I'm not going to sit there and cuss out the assistant principal because it's not going to get me anywhere, you know? How dare you? How dare you make such an accusation about my child that he could possibly come to school and bring a gun. You obviously don't know my kid. And I can't believe an administrator at this school would say something like that to any parent. Not just me, to any parent. You don't know our kids. How dare you? Yeah, I'm pretty upset about it. I'm pretty heated over this issue. To say something like that about my son. So I asked her, and I feel that it was a fair question. At what point are we becoming the thought police and punishing people for actions that they have yet to commit simply because of a hand gesture? Are you kidding me? Then she informs me that she only suspended him for 2 days, but it could have been worse. She could have suspended him. She tells me she could have suspended my son for the entire semester for a hand gesture. Hey, you know what? If he had flipped somebody off, yeah, you ought to suspend him. You know, a day or two. I accept that. Absolutely. That's inappropriate. It's unacceptable. Him doing this was inappropriate. But he was just bored. He wasn't really acting like, I'm going to shoot you or tell her. Hey, there were no words. There was nothing. He's just sitting there, blah, blah, bored. I explained to her, I disagree with her decision. And I will not punish my son for doing the hand gestures. I won't do it. He is being punished for being disruptive in class. It's not the first time I've had a problem with being disruptive, and it probably won't be the last. So for that, he is being punished, but I've made it very clear to him that he is in no way, shape, or form being punished for getting suspended. Because in my opinion, this is bogus. That being said, I want to know what you think. And that's the whole purpose of this video. I want to see what the rest of you think. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. So, what do you think about the situation if this was your kid? Please comment below. Tell me your thoughts. I'm going to tweet this out to the local news stations, and I'll see what they think as well. You know, I talked to my son. He meant no harm by it. He's just a teenage boy that was finished with his work, sitting in class, being bored. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Be safe out there, and Uber on.